Joelito's Big Decision, written by Anne Burlack, illustrated by Daniel Camacho. Joelito awakened to the smell of chorizo frying. After a dreamy minute, he realized it was Friday, his favorite day. He loved Fridays because Mama and Papa took him and his sister Alma to McMahon's for burgers every Friday, rain or shine. From his window, he could see the 12-foot-high plastic head of smiling Sam McMahon from across the street. On their car trip to Los Angeles, they counted 15 smiling Sams. He supposed there were thousands of McMahons across the planet. At 3 o'clock, Joelito and his best friend Brandon waited outside the third-grade classroom for their younger sisters. Alma came out with Brandon's sister, Kayla, who was crying. "Brandon, someone stole your sister's backpack," said Alma. "We looked everywhere." "I love that backpack," Kayla said. "It was practically new." "Don't worry, Kayla," Joelito said. "There are others just like it at the store." "Joelito Sanchez, you don't understand anything," Kayla replied. "I won't be getting another one for a very long time." The four walked home through a misty rain. When Joelito and Alma reached their building, they said goodbye to their friends and walked upstairs to their apartment. Joelito was still thinking about Kayla's backpack. Once he'd left his backpack on the bus, and Papa took him to buy another one at the store the next day. At 6 o'clock, Joelito and Alma heard their parents coming home. "Ready to go?" Papa asked. "Ready for my burgers," said Joelito. As they stepped outside, Papa pointed across the street. "Something's happening in McMahon's. Let's check it out." Joelito had never seen McMahon's parking lot so crowded. There were people of all ages and colors. They smiled at each other as if they were all friends. Many carried cardboard signs. Some signs said, "Low pay is not okay," "Si se puede," or "Strike for 15." From the rooftop, smiling Sam gazed down upon the scene. Joelita and Alma peeked through the crowd at the restaurant door. They could see that McMahon's was packed inside, but no one was standing in line or eating at the tables. They heard Mama calling, "Joelito and Alma Sanchez, come here." But they kept moving towards the restaurant doors until Mama called again. Then they turned around. At that moment, Joelito saw Brandon, Kayla, and their parents, Mr. and Miss Thomas, standing together and holding signs. Mr. and Miss Thomas cooked burgers at McMahon's. They had worked at a factory until the factory closed down. Then the family moved from their house with a backyard into a one-bedroom apartment, and they had to give their dog, Cookie, away. Brandon still talked about how much he loved Cookie. "What's going on?" asked Joelito. Miss Thomas said, "We're picketing to let people know McMahon's doesn't pay us enough to support our families. We want $15 an hour, though even that's not enough. We should earn enough so we can pay our bills and go on a family vacation." Joelito thought about Kayla's missing backpack. No wonder she'd been so upset. He guessed Brandon's parents never came to soccer games because they had to work Saturdays at McMahon's. "Joelito, come stand with us and hold a sign," Brandon said. "Can't, sorry. Fridays we eat at McMahon's," Joelito replied. "Are you kidding?" said Brandon. "I thought you were my friend." "I am," said Joelito, surprised, "since kindergarten." "Well, if you care about me and my mom and dad and the people they work with, you won't eat dinner here tonight." Joelito opened his mouth to answer, but he could not think of what to say. "Why doesn't Aquila just pay the workers more?" Alma asked. Aquila, who used to babysit for them, was a manager at McMahon's. Mr. Thompson answered, "Aquila doesn't decide how much to pay the workers. When someone buys a McMahon's burger anywhere on earth, a lot of that money goes into Mr. McMahon's bank account. He decides how much of that money to pay the workers and the managers and how much to keep for himself." A small crowd had gathered around them, listening. Mr. Thompson continued, "It's a math problem, brother. 1 year, Sam McMahon was paid $9 million. I'd have to work 500 years to earn as much as Sam earns in 1 year. Mr. McMahon's bank account is bursting, and we can't pay the rent." He has way more money than he needs because he pays the workers so little. A TV reporter held a microphone in front of Mr. Thomas and asked, "Won't McMahon's have to charge more for hamburgers if they pay workers more?" His answer would be on TV tonight. "Sam McMahon has $1 billion in the bank account," Mr. Thomas said. "He could easily pay workers more without raising prices." Joelito's stomach growled. He glanced back at McMahon's where the burgers were frying on a grill. They smelled so good. "Joelito," Mama said, "if we ate at McMahon's tonight, your abuelos would turn over in their graves. When your uncles and I were young, we worked from dawn to dusk picking grapes in the sizzling sun. Pesticides, no bathrooms in the field. Picking grapes hardly paid enough to feed us. We were always hungry. Demonstrating to be treated more fairly saved your abuelos' lives." "Okay," said Joelito. "Let's go to Power Burgers instead." "Can't eat there either," said Miss Thomas. "The workers at Power Burgers are demonstrating too. Low-paid workers are demonstrating all over the world today." "Where can we eat?" asked Alma. A short grandmotherly woman said, "Try Cocina Las Oitas on 18th. They have great food and the workers get paid fairly. There's no Mr. McMahon's getting rich every time someone buys a burger." "Sounds good to me," Mama said. The crowd was growing larger as men and women coming home from work joined in. "Let's go, Joelito," said Papa. "You're the one who was so hungry." Joelito just stood there lost in thought. He felt hunger in his belly, but he was feeling something else too. "I'm going to stay here with Brandon and Kayla," he said. "Then I'm staying too," said Alma. "Could you bring back takeout for us and for the Thomases?" As the sky cleared, the setting sun cast a shadow over Sam McMahon's plastic head, transforming his smile into a frown. When Joelito and Alma joined the Thomas family, Kayla handed each of them a sign on a stick. The crowd began to chant, "Hey, hey, ho, ho, low wages have got to go." Joelito began chanting too. He felt a new kind of joy as he realized all the people there were making history together. I started writing Joelito's Big Decision in the fall of 2013 when the 21st century movement to raise minimum wage was just getting off the ground. Now, just 2 years later, we can say that a lot happened, although there is still a very long way to go. There were demonstrations in support of raising the minimum wage in 190 cities on December 4th, 2014. By March 2015, several cities and 24 states had voted to raise the minimum wage in 2015. The demand to raise the minimum wage had spread from fast food to Walmarts, home care workers, and federal contract and other workers. However, of the 24 states, only one has raised the minimum wage above $10 an hour, hardly a living wage, and 95% of recent income increases have gone to the 1%. On April 15, 2015, 1 million people across the U.S. demonstrated in support of living wage. It was the largest demonstration of its kind in history. Sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede, sí se puede.